Hey everyone, it's Angela with Create Your Future. So guys, if you have struggled with fear, doubt, anxiety, worry, those emotions while you're manifesting, if that's something that you're experiencing right now, stick around for this video because I really want to help you move through that, push through that, and not let that be a hindrance to your manifestation. And I've got a couple stories that are personal to me towards the end of this video, how I dealt with those very feelings, pushed through, kept going through that feeling state, and got to my desire, got to my preferred outcome. So, all right, let's just jump into this, guys. Whenever we're manifesting, those negative feelings are bound to come in, right? Whether or not we see something in the 3D, we hear something, or we're just going back and remembering an experience, right? Almost reliving it. Those feelings can come in. That's normal, all right? And I want you to know those feelings in and of themselves, the feelings are not manifesting. But what happens very often is those feelings then spawn off thoughts. That's where we have to interrupt the process. And what I'm talking about is maybe you have got a bad report about your specific person. You've heard from somebody, you've heard a rumor about something. From that report, you begin to feel afraid, feel worried, feel anxious. And then when that happens and you have those feelings going on, from there you begin to spawn thoughts that support the feeling. You might begin to think, I'm never going to be with my person. They're never going to leave the third party. This is never going to work out. This is where we interrupt the process, okay? So when that's going on, whenever the emotional state is overtaking us and creating like thoughts, that is when the body has become the mind. But remember, your body is just a part of your 3D experience, right? Your emotions are connected to your body. That really is not you. That's just your figure, your temporary figure here on earth, right? But at the core level, you are pure consciousness. You have a conscious brain, and you are the creator of your reality through your conscious brain, okay? So those emotions and those feelings and things that come in cannot create when you begin to stay firm and aware with the story and the thoughts that you prefer. You don't let those emotions pull you back down into that rabbit hole where you begin to then think in alignment with that feeling, okay? And you can always remind yourself, this is just a part of my 3D body. It's going to move through. It's not going to stay. It's not who I am. All right. And you just let those things be. You let them move through. You process them by not resisting them and let them move through. But I don't want you to begin to feel like the fear, the worry, the doubt, the anxiety is going to keep you from your desire, because it will not. Now, my two stories are all about feeling the fear and the worry and all of that. So my first story was when I was having to travel. I was in a car, had about an hour's trip to get home through a very severe storm. And I've made a video about this a while back. I don't remember how long ago, but I was terrified in that moment. And there was just a huge system covering up any way that I could go home. There was no clearing at all. And I was terrified. I had anxiety. I had fear. I had all of those emotions. But I began speaking to myself internally saying, I'm going to get home safely. In fact, it's going to clear up around my car. I'm going to have good visibility. The road before me is going to be safe. I'm going to get home safely. I just affirmed. I was terrified. I had all sorts of negative emotions going on inside of me, but I continued to affirm. And that is exactly what happened. It cleared up literally on my path. I got home, I had no trouble, and I was safe. I affirmed even though I was terrified. I affirmed even though I was very scared. I continued to consciously choose what I wanted to have happen. And that's what happened. And it continued to storm even after I got home, all around our area, all through our state, all night long. But I was in a really clear little space in my town. We were clear for the rest of the night. And I just decided in my own mind that was because I affirmed for that. But that was something I did, even though I was very scared. I had all sorts of anxiety inside of me, but my thought chose a different outcome. My thought chose safety. My thought chose, I'm going to be in an area where it's clear and it's safe. Okay. Now, the second story, I have shared this one before as well, is about my son when he was an infant. And somebody a couple of weeks ago asked if I would give a link to this video that I made probably several years ago about my son. And I could not find that, but I hope you're watching now because I'm going to give you a recap on that situation as well. So when my son was around 6 months old, he had had a lot of trouble as an infant gaining weight. And on one of our visits to the doctor, he had gained no weight like in a month's time at all. And the doctor was very upset and said, all right, we're looking like at 5 or 6 things I think could be going on here. They were terrible things, some bad conditions and diseases and things. And she said, we're going to have to run a barrage of tests on him, but this is not looking good. I'm very concerned. So of course, I was panicked. I was terrified. I went home and I think I had like 2 weeks from the time we had that visit at the doctor's office until we actually were able to get in and get all of the testing done. And I literally walked around my house on the verge of tears. I was so upset. I was so concerned. My emotions were all over the place. But what I did do constantly was speak to myself saying, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. Somehow, some way, he's going to be okay. There's a medication. There's a treatment. There's something. He's going to be okay. No matter what they tell us, he's going to be okay. And you better believe I was terrified. I was so upset. Like I said, I was on the verge of tears for 2 weeks. I was so scared about my infant son. And then right before we went in to get the testing done, just a day or two before we went in, I was putting him to bed, rocking him one night and looking down at him. And all at once peace came over me. And I thought, he just looks fine. He's responding to me. He's looking at me. He's reaching out. He's making eye contact. He's fine. I just had a peace. The emotions finally caught up with where I was in my affirmation. Even though for 2 weeks I had been terrified, even though for 2 weeks I was just sad, depressed, crying, I kept insisting it was okay. The emotional body caught up to where I was with my conscious thinking brain. I had a peace come over me. We went in, had the testing done, and they could find nothing. Nothing. Everything came back negative. They couldn't even find something that they could treat. There was nothing that showed up. That's because I did not give in with my thoughts. And so as I remember, when you're feeling scared, and I remember feeling scared, your brain starts to say, well, what if it's this? Well, what? That's where, as a pure consciousness, you pull yourself back and you say, no. And that's what I did in that situation time and time again. No, he's going to be okay. No, it's going to be fine. No, somehow, some way, they're going to take care of my son. He's going to be okay. That's what you do in those situations. You don't let the what ifs and the worries and those little bombs that want to just descend upon your brain come in. You say, no, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. So guys, both of those circumstances, I was very scared. I was very worried, but I kept affirming for the outcome that I wanted. I did not let the body take over. I did not let the body become the mind and begin to then create the thoughts that would have just drained me and pulled me down into a very deep rabbit hole, right? I stayed on top of it with my thoughts. I directed it. You are the captain of your ship, right? With your conscious thinking brain. You're in charge of the whole body. And everything will ultimately follow your thoughts when you continue to persist. So don't let your emotions bully you. Don't let your emotions pull you down into the negative thinking, because that is where your power is. You've got to pull your thoughts back into alignment with what it is that you want to experience. You stay in charge. That is your birthright. That is why you have your conscious thinking mind that you can direct and you can control. You are the captain of your ship. You are the captain of your life. You are the one that's in charge. Nobody else is. Your emotions are not in charge. So you take authority and you take control, and do not let your emotions bully you. So guys, I hope that this helps you. If you're dealing with those emotions, I know sometimes they can feel very strong. They can feel very powerful, but you are the ultimate power with how you direct that, right? Even though all of this energy is going on here, you're going to direct it. You're going to take charge and say, this is where we're going. It doesn't matter right now, all right? I might be feeling this way. I might be feeling upset. It doesn't matter that this is going on because we're going that way. We're going towards the answer. So I hope that that really encourages you, and it motivates you to keep going, push through when you have those feelings that are very scary, push through with confidence in your thoughts. All right. Guys, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, there are links down below to sign up for coaching. I'd love to help you with your desire, help you with your emotions, help you deal with everything that you might be processing as you are working on your desire. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week in the next video. Bye.